When I was doing my teacher training, we were asked what we'd like to focus on when we become teachers, and it just so happened that at that moment I felt that I'd like to work with women who had suffered abuse. And since I made the film Beautiful as Butterflies several years ago, and it's about the healing process of 4 formerly abused women from poor communities in Cape Town, the healing process through Kundalini Yoga, we've been invited, our project, to teach Kundalini Yoga in the 3 state mental hospitals in Cape Town. For almost 3 years, we've been teaching Kundalini Yoga in the maximum Ward 20 forensic unit at Valkenburg Hospital. We've been working for about a year and a half at Lentegeur State Mental Hospital with people with intellectual disability, and more recently, about 6 months ago, we started working with the alcohol detox unit at Stickland State Mental Hospital. And in fact, at the 3 state mental hospitals, they just want us to teach more and more classes. And I've become more interested personally in working with people, especially women from my perspective, who have drug dependencies, and using Kundalini Yoga in that respect. And I have been teaching for about a year in a community drug rehabilitation center for women using Kundalini Yoga, and that's been very interesting, very challenging. All the work that we do through St. Joseph's and again with the Yoga Project is to serve the community. And our aim is to take yoga to places, Kundalini to places that it might not otherwise be offered. So in the state mental hospitals, for example, and the drug rehabilitation center, and also we were teaching women in prison, we're teaching Kundalini to women in prison as well. I think all of those environments are quite challenging because the people that you meet there have a lot of issues that they need to grapple with. So for me, it's been very much a learning process because I had not worked with people with drug addiction before. So teaching in that environment was enormously rewarding for me, trying to understand how far you could push the people that you were working with and to really be extremely compassionate whilst encouraging them to challenge themselves. The occupational therapists so welcome the yoga classes, and it's really fantastic because they actually want the yoga classes to be documented. But it actually came from the staff at the hospital that they want everything to be very, very formal, written reports on each of the clients, their progress, so on and so forth. So that's amazing, you know, that it is actually being documented in some way. And it's great because the people that we liaise with the most are the head psychiatrists of the various departments, who are very, very appreciative of the results that Kundalini Yoga is able to achieve, and they really respect and understand that it's a very powerful and very serious medium, which is fantastic. Sure. Desiree started out as a literacy learner on the adult education program, and she's worked for many years in the laundry at the military base, I believe for about 20 years. And since embarking upon the Kundalini Yoga teacher training course, she got her first clerical job, and she's been asked to teach Kundalini Yoga at the military base to people who work there. And her boss, who is a colonel, is enormously impressed by Kundalini Yoga. And for quite a while, she has been counseling and working with women in her area because people have come to really respect her and the skill that she can give them through yoga, and she would love to be able to do this on a wider scale. She's become vegetarian, completely vegetarian, and she stopped smoking. She did that with Satali Pranayama. She said she got very bad headaches at the beginning, but she's just such an amazing person. She's just a powerhouse of energy, and she's just wonderful. And we hope with time that it might be possible to open a women's centre for her so she can work more with abused women in the area, as she has been doing, but on a larger scale, because there's a huge need for that, and she would really like to be able to do that. I think that service to the community is one of the most important things, and when someone has their Kundalini Yoga teacher training, they could just decide where they'd like to contribute their skills, in which community perhaps they might like to uplift with the technology of Kundalini Yoga. Perhaps in prison, perhaps working with more disadvantaged communities who might not have easy access to Kundalini Yoga, and either perhaps going directly to those structures, or otherwise perhaps approaching a project such as a non-profit, St. Joseph's, that, for example, people work with us. So perhaps some of the teachers might like to align themselves with organizations that work within the community. In fact, perhaps there's organizations that work with street children, non-profits. Maybe they might like to go to those organizations and offer their skills, for example. I do find that my meditation really assists me tremendously in trying to achieve the goals that I set, and also through my meditation it also helps me to define my goals. And I just really think it really is just grace of Guru. I have no idea, I have no other answer. Mm-hmm. Such an endeavour always does require funding, and in other cases, for example, where you're setting up a centre, it also would encompass maybe yoga mats, music, so on and so forth, the tools that you would need to teach Kundalini Yoga. To donate anything, then there is an email address, and they could just write to me, Chijai. That would be nice. And there's also a trailer of the film, and if people do purchase from our shopping cart Beautiful as Butterflies, then that also does go towards the project as well. So I just think it's unlimited. I especially feel that the more one gives to the community and the more one wants to serve the community, then opportunities just continually present themselves. And I do definitely have a dream of, in Cape Town / South Africa, I see, because I have an interest as well in working with people with drug and alcohol dependencies, particularly for me with women with drug dependencies, and the pervasive influence of drugs and the pernicious effects are really huge in South Africa. They actually, as everywhere, they just decimate communities, individuals, families. And I would like to see a centre that's run just along Kundalini Yoga lines. So everything is aligned with that. So you would start the day with sadhana, you have Kundalini music playing the whole time, the food would be very, very nourishing, so on and so forth. And I could definitely see, that's kind of my dream in Cape Town, to see a Kundalini Yoga centre that works on a more long-term basis, maybe over several months, that women could stay there, maybe 3 to 6 months, and that would work exclusively with Kundalini Yoga and drug dependency, and using the teachings of Yogi Bhajan and so on and so forth.
Great.
So that's my dream.